KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Hawkfanatic.com is brought to you by Patrick Eads and the staff at Deary Brothers Ford on Mormon Trek. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Mike's E-Keys for cars. GT Car and his great crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. The Midtown Family Restaurants. Harty and Stocker Jewelers, 101 South Dubuque Street, downtown Iowa City. Diamond Dream Sports Academy. Senior Benefits. Premier Automotive in North Liberty, the Ox Yoke Inn and the Amanas. Streets Maintenance. Dr. Lance Forbes Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids. And Big Dog Tech Solutions. Here's Tom Suter, and from Hawkfanatic.com, Pat Harty.
Yes, indeed. Anybody watch any basketball last night? Or
I watched in between Andy Griffith shows. I was able to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was done with everything by the time the Rockford stuff came on.
We said we were going over with things that happened in 1987, and at the end we said. And Pat was watching the Andy Griffith show.
Yep, 87. Rockford Files, no, not at that point. I didn't start watching those until probably the 90s. But by that time, it had been over for 7 years. But no, that was, and you guys, I told you, I'm not surprised. I thought they were going to win. And I'm often wrong in these predictions, but this one, it just felt like they were going to win. Now, it doesn't feel like they're going to beat Illinois, but stranger things have happened, and all it takes is one. I do think if Iowa and Illinois played 10 times, Illinois probably wins 7 or 8. But, again, it just takes one. But Nebraska, I didn't feel that way. I just felt Iowa was a little better. And I think that's what ultimately prevailed, is they're just a little more versatile. There were times when, and no knock, but when you got to rely on Sam Hoiberg to kind of keep you in a game offensively for a while when Price Sanford isn't hot at that moment. I mean, Rink Mast was 0 of 7 from 3.
Yeah, he didn't have a great
I
game.
just didn't think they matched well with Iowa, and Iowa found a way to win. And it wasn't one of these 57 to 53 sloggers. It was,
No.
I mean, they scored in the 70s and they won the game. And it's just wild to think about it. I was sitting there thinking, I've never been a huge believer that Nebraska's as good as their record, but the record is still what it is. I get it. But then you had Iowa, Nebraska, and then I'm looking, and an 18-14 Texas team entering the tournament, barely getting in, had to play in the first 4, I believe, and is just almost ready to beat Purdue.
And had to get a tip in at the buzzer.
That's what the NCAA tournament's all about, though. It completely redefines teams.
Well, it does. And
3 games have completely redefined this Iowa team forever.
And, Illinois has been a better team than Iowa all season.
They are a better team.
They are.
But that doesn't mean
team.
they're going to win tomorrow.
That's right.
I do. I'm not. Are you ready to pick the Hawks?
No.
I'm not. But
no.
I just don't think it would be a massive, massive upset. I think we get wrapped up in the seedings and all 3 versus 9. They only beat them by 6 here. Now, it always felt like Illinois was going to win that game,
didn't they jump out to a big lead, like 14-2?
Yeah, but
one of those.
Yeah, but the game was competitive.
It was.
It was 75-69, but it never felt like Iowa was going to win that game. But it also never felt like Illinois was just going to run them out. I mean, Iowa's playing real well right now. And, of course, so is Illinois. I get that. So I can't believe we're even talking about this Iowa team that lost on February 28th at Penn State is now in the Elite Eight. I mean, he's won. I mean, I'm not knocking Fran and Alford combined for 5 NCAA tournament wins combined between the two of them 21 years. Ben has 3 already.
Yeah. It's great.
With a team that
Why did you not include Licklider in there?
Well, NCAA tournament wins. I mean, Licklider barely had wins. So, but yeah, no, it's just an incredible story. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, that's it.
And I watched, I would rather have played Illinois or Houston. Houston's offense, Houston's like a lot of other teams. I mean, they've got Kingston Flemings, who is incredible, and I think he had like 20. But they had a lot of other players that are, don't get me wrong, they're great athletes, they're good players, but they're sometimes just not good 10 to 15-foot jump shooters, and that's what you need. Look what Phil Garris is doing now. It seems like you leave him open, he's hitting these jump shots now, whether they're 3s or 15-footers. Sturts makes the big shots now when he has to. I know he was 0 for 9 the previous game, but he came back last night and he get some 20. And they're just, I mean, Tate Sage
was incredible.
Tate Sage was incredible from the very beginning. He's had other moments, other games where didn't he have one game where he had like I mean, he's had other, but they weren't in the Sweet 16. That he did this on the biggest stage at the biggest moment and from start to finish.
And I mean, he was recruited by absolutely
he was going to Drake. There was a time before that Tate Sage was going to Drake and that Drake was leading for Keaton Wagler. Imagine if McCollum would have stayed with that roster and they would have added Tate Sage and Keaton. Imagine what they...
And Sturts.
They might... Well, yeah, and all those guys would have stayed at Drake. Hell, they'd probably be still in the NCAA tournament
probably.
now. That's what Drake had going there for a while, but it shows you how quickly it can change. But no, it's just a fun story. And like I said, if they go to the Final Four, I mean, the Final Four would be Saturday, Monday, right?
Yeah.
I'll figure.
Yep.
I mean, I'm strongly. Well, I'm going to go. I will figure out a way to go. And have you ruled it out?
No.
There you go.
We haven't talked about it really.
Hey, all it takes is one conversation, reservations at St. Elmo's, and you're there.
Yeah, go.
Oh, there is no way St. Elmo is open. I mean, has got anything open except at maybe 11 in the morning.
Well, there you go.
Know.
So, the 14-ounce ribeye at 11 a.m. Asleep in the hotel by 1.
Missed the game.
missed the game, but with a full tummy. Oh, and we are going to have Jess Settles on at 9:30.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. It's always fun to talk to Jess, but especially now he was on that 99 team that actually, as great as that team was, this team's now the...
Yeah.
I mean, this team has sort of even moved past that because a lot of this, like when you're ranking the greatest shots, I did that thing the other day. Steve Waite's still number one because that was to get to the Final Four.
Yes.
And it was also a three-point play that took a lot of work to make
That's
that.
right.
Now, then I still have Gamble number 2 because that took him to the Elite Eight.
That was against Oklahoma?
Yeah, and then Alvaro's number 3 now. But deserves to be in that group now. There's 3 greatest shots because that one took them to the Sweet 16. Each one is a step. But last night, luckily, fortunately for them, they didn't need a last-second shot. They ended up winning that game by 6. Yeah, and Tate Sage, I was trying to think of the last time a freshman had that type of game in the NCAA tournament. I can't imagine it's ever happened.
I can't remember.
I haven't looked yet. Maybe somebody's already put something out there about that. But, yeah, no. And what was impressive about him, he scored in multiple ways, tips, threes, runners.
Yeah.
He played the game kind of like the way Haluska played the game. And he's even 2 inches taller than Adam. He's 6'7", but he is the real deal. And next year he's going to play a lot more because he's going to have to. So it's going to be, I mean, you think about next year: Cale Combs, Tate Sage, Cam Manmau, Fulgaris. There's 4, I would think, pretty much lock starters right there. And then, but depending on who they get guard-wise, maybe next year Combs comes off the bench. But I'll tell you, Combs gave them a really steady 6 points and 5 assists. He was a very important.
Yes,
he's just really steady now. And I wrote this. I'm convinced that he can be a point guard next year. Now they need more, but he can play the role, and I think he'll be even better when he doesn't have Sturts to rely on. He'll be forced to be better because he'll have to do more. But no, this is. I mean, Ben McCall, it's just funny. You go on social media now, and he ranks somewhere between like Jesus and Gandhi. It's amazing what the NCAA tournament can do. I knew Ben when he was 5, and this kid, I mean, he delivered a paper like no one I've ever seen. And I swear to God, one time at Storm Lake, he was actually walking on the water on the shoreline. It's funny how this.
I love the Hawkeye fans that posted Fire Hoiberg.
I didn't see that.
So it was all up and down.
I would like. They're probably joking, of course. I mean, they had the best season, 28-7. But I don't know. I just thought Nebraska to me seemed like they were one pretty decent athletic score away. I mean, they relied so much on Price Sanford, and he was great. 25, made tough shots, and then Rink Mass to me just kind of got worse as the season.
He did.
This is his 7th year. I think it's time to.
Well,
I believe
his joints are wearing out. Arthritis probably.
Well, think about it though. This is his 7th year, so he's 25. 7. Tate Sage was 11 when he went to college. So I mean, it's been a while. Now, he's been a good player, don't get me wrong, but I just thought that Iowa matched up well against him. And the other big guy whose name I can't even begin to pronounce, he played well early, but he didn't do much scoring. And they needed scoring.
Well, they had that other kid came off the bench.
Well, the Frager. Well, he's really good. He was all
terrific.
Was he the sixth man of the year?
Yes, I think.
And
so.
he made the all freshman team. No, and he's from right there at Lincoln. No, he's a really good player, and he played that way.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have enough of him. They needed more guys to help him and Price. And I didn't think Lawrence played that well, the point guard.
He didn't.
He kind of got lost. But no, I just think Iowa's slightly better. And they won the game. Now they go up against Illinois, and they're big. They won here by, I believe, 6 or 7. It was 75-69. They won here, and it was an interesting matchup. It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments, but there are some things that Ben's not going to be able to do, even though he is. Where do you rank him, Captain? Like just in the hierarchy of everything right now, Ben McCollum?
Yes.
Where do you rank him?
I would say, well, you got to put, even though I'm Jewish, you got to put Jesus number one.
Well, it could be just God, or are you that kind of? Are they you lump them together? Are they one thing?
Yeah.
Even though you're Jewish.
One thing, even though
I like the fact that you're willing to put aside your
my religion.
faith, your religion, to make a point, to contribute to this sad bit. But you get what I'm saying, though. It's just it's hard to think of this reminds me of Kirk in 2002 football. That's how popular it seems like. I was trying to think about this. It's Alford, after leading Iowa to the Big Ten tournament title in 2001, before we knew he was a horse's ass. I mean, seriously, yeah. Alford was, remember the Hawks?
Well, he beat the defending national champion.
And he did it in year 2.
Yes.
We did that in year 1.
Yes.
But year 2, he had them, and I get it. I mean, but we just didn't know the true colors.
Hello.
Hello, did you see Alford in, what was the NIT?
Yes, I watched parts of it. I was cheering for Auburn.
Who won?
I believe Auburn did.
No, they lost. Anyway.
No, I think Auburn won.
She meant
Alford lost. Okay.
Alford lost.
Yeah, Alford lost.
Yeah.
What was the deal there where Nebraska had 4 players in there playing?
A breakdown in communication, according to Hoiberg.
And Rink Mast was still on the sideline.
Yes.
And they said that Nebraska led 37 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, Iowa led
So
for the
that
last
only
2.
gives 3
Iowa led
minutes.
for 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there were a couple of times they were tied in there.
Yep.
I think 4.
Yeah. So, I watched Alford. I thought, well, he's getting old. His hair's turning gray.
At least he still has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, how many baseball games do you think the Iowa team is going to take this weekend?
They play UCLA in 3. Hopefully they can get 2.
That'd be great.
I'd probably predict 1. I mean, UCLA is number 1, but baseball's weird, though. It's a little different.
Yeah, it is.
Baseball's just a different sport. It wouldn't surprise me if Iowa gets at least 1 in this series, but they just got to avoid being swept, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they're only 3-3 right now.
Today, what is it? They start today at 4 o'clock?
Yeah. And how warm today, Captain? It's a little colder.
Today, 49.
See, for some reason, I thought today was one of the warm days. What happened to the 80-degree day?
That could be a little cool.
No, my sheet says 6 o'clock today. Is that not correct?
No, it's going to be cold.
Well, I know the women play at
That's 6.
And they play Washington,
at 6,
who's undefeated in Big
but
Ten
I
play.
did hear that the men play at 4. Now, I was wondering why.
I don't know.
Probably weather. It's cold.
Yeah.
My sheet's
It's
wrong.
colder for baseball than for softball?
Yes.
Or is it colder up there more than it is down where the softball field is?
Yeah, well, they probably don't want them to play at the same time. Have too much
That
overlap.
could be, but
I don't know. I mean,
It's 49 today. Tomorrow it'll be 54, then 66 Sunday.
oh, see, so for 2 of the 3 today, if they play,
Then Monday, 80. Seriously.
yeah.
and then what? Wednesday, 30?
80 on Tuesday.
95 on Wednesday.
Wednesday, 61. We've got showers and thunderstorms Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday.
So the high on Wednesday is only 61 after it being 80 for 2 days.
Yes.
Good God! Well,
And then on Thursday,
100
near 50.
50 is the high.
Yeah, near it.
Okay.
Well, it'd be nice if the women could sweep Washington, the men could sweep UCLA, and we can beat Illinois.
I'll tell you, if that happened,
That'd be great.
The chances of beating Illinois is a lot greater than sweeping
I would say.
softball and
that's
baseball.
true.
I didn't realize Washington, they're ranked 16th, and they're 9-0, I believe, or 7 something undefeated at 9-0 in Big Ten play. So no, this is a big weekend for
They know how
both.
to play baseball and softball out west.
Yeah, and it's cold today, but this could be a lot worse. There's not much wind. It's going to be bright, sunny. It will be interesting.
Yeah.
But,
Well, actually, later on today, wind gusts of 30 miles an hour.
well, that will be different because it's still right
Blow
now.
you right off the stand.
But still going to be almost 50. I mean, they'll be able to. I would imagine they'll be able to overcome that, or at least it won't be a huge factor. I was kind of hoping for low 40s and gray, and well, that's what you want. You want to get them out of their
We don't
element.
want rain. We don't want real cold
No, you-
weather. We don't want snow.
Well, you don't want that because then you don't play. I mean, if it gets too cold.
Well, anyway, you guys have a good day.
You
Thanks,
too,
Karen.
But it does. I mean,
Right.
tomorrow mid 50s, and then Sunday the weather won't be a factor at all in those games.
Who brought me corn nuts?
Lance,
Did Lance just stop in here?
no, but he probably had those delivered. They're
You probably mentioned corn nuts earlier.
I hadn't, but thank you.
bite down on them. He texted me to tell you that they're softer now. You're supposed to bite down on them really hard.
And on a different note, and to probably no one's surprise, Kenise Johnson is going to enter the transfer portal for the Hawkeyes.
Okay.
Hello.
So does that mean she's still healthy enough to play?
Evidently.
Hello.
Good morning, guys. Calling in from Cloud 9 today. So I was wondering if you guys could comment. Certainly, this run here will impact recruiting going forward, and hopefully fan attendance next year. So, could you comment maybe a little bit about when Ben came on? Last year he said, we got to get fans here. We got to get fans here, and there was kind of a multi-step process that they were kind of laying out. And we had a little bit better fan attendance this year. But what kind of growth do you think this can help set forward for next year? And I know a lot of people have been talking about trying to move students closer to the court. Is there going to be more traction with that directly because of our success here?
Well, I will be stunned if this does not cause a huge spike in tickets. This is what you need.
Well, you would sure think so.
This is just it. I mean, I'm not saying every game is going to be sold out like the women yet. I mean, that did take 3 years of Caitlin and Megan before that. But this will have a positive impact on. It's got to, and it's going to help recruiting too. Now we still got to see it, but it's not going to hurt by any means. This is just what you need. You've got momentum. And now McCollum's showing recruits, hey, you come here, you can win on the biggest stage with the way I do it. I've won at every level. And as far as the students, I think that will keep trending where I think they'll keep somehow, I think they're going to keep adding to the courtside relevance of students. That's just me saying that right now. Beth hasn't really said anything specifically, but she's already taken a pretty significant step by creating that section on the south baseline. I think you'll see more of that. And yes, I do think that, winning 3 games in the tournament, man, what if they get to the Final Four? Ben's going to be hot when he goes out on that recruiting trail. And
right.
Kids are going to see this. They're going to be like, wow, Iowa's back. Iowa's relevant again. That'll help.
Do you think that, and maybe you lump them all into the same category, but do you think that will have a greater impact on high school recruits wanting to come to the school, or perhaps existing college players with NIL wanting to come in? I ask that because I know Creighton's coach just announced that he was stepping down, and they've had a few decommits. And would Josh Dix come back?
No, I don't think he can. He's graduated.
He's graduated. But I get your question.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I'll get your question. It's going to help both. I think both will be impacted. I think probably portal, because I just think portal is going to be the way teams have to go year in and year out to keep up. I mean, Iowa has to go get a portal guard. I mean, of course you can get a high school guard too, but you have to get a portal guard. And I think they're going to be able to go out and say, hey, look what we just did with Bennett. Man, you can come here and you can fill those minutes and you can be on the big stage with these surrounding players, and look what you can do. Look what he did. Look what he did for me. I can develop point guards. Oh, yeah, I think it's going to have a huge impact with guys in the portal. Now, they still got to be able to close the deals.
Sure. Sure. And like you said before, that's basically for 1 year. You know,
everything's 1 year now.
At the end of every year.
Everything is one, even for high school kids now. Kids don't look really down the road, big picture anymore, and that's kind of unfortunate. But everything is the moment, even high school. It's just the next year is all that matters because, you know, if you don't like what happens over the next year, you can easily change course.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for all your insights and
all right.
For a great program. Wait.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
Yep. Appreciate the call.
You know what? Ben McCollum must have some sort of... I don't know. He does so well in tournaments, 4 national championships, takes his first Iowa team to an Elite 8. What does he do differently?
Is he bigger than life is kind of what you're suggesting?
No, but I'm saying he must.
Captain, what's the answer to his question? Is he bigger than life?
Yes.
Well, that wasn't my question. I think he's got some kind of...
well, he's got something, obviously. I mean, to do this in the first year for a program that had been coming so frustrated about not being able to get over the hump, he just eases right over. Not saying it was easy, but, I mean, he hasn't made it look easy, but he's made it look like, hey, my stuff works. Look, we can score at a little bit faster pace if we have to win. Our guys are peaking at the right time. His teams always seem to peak at the right time. And that's good coaching that they're able to sustain. And fortunately, they've stayed pretty injury-free. They've had a lot of,
for the most part,
had a lot of good luck that way. But other things, though, that are happening, I wasn't convinced that Cooper Koch was going to emerge like this, but he did.
But he has.
Wasn't convinced that Cale Combs was going to become a really good, reliable second guard who can also shift to point guard, but he has. And then last night, Tavian Banks and Manuel really weren't the matchup, but they had other Tate Sage. It was his time. He found something to that Nebraska defense as a 6'7" guard that he could expose. The other thing too is he made a couple early threes. That always helps. Yep. Then everything else seems to open up. When he made that first three, and he made that other one in front of the Nebraska bench, I'm like, wow, that was about 23 feet from the basket with a quick release. That was a Price Sanford-like shot.
And when he released, I go, oh, my God.
And
really?
It went in. Can't wait to hear what Jess has to say about that.
Yeah, hey, I'm looking forward to hearing Jess, so I'll make this quick. But,
all right.
With 6 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game, the camera panned on the Nebraska crowd, and there was Matt Rule. And I told all my friends at the house, I said, well, Nebraska's going to pee down their leg. And sure enough, they scored 3 more points until Price's three-pointer with like 4 seconds left. They completely peed the bed after.
So you're blaming this loss on Nebraska football.
They're cursed. They need an extra.
All right.
God, it feels good. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
That's kind of funny.
That is kind of funny.
We got Jess on?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
I'm sorry. I thought, but no, that is kind of funny. Iowa. Now, Nebraska did beat them. Did they beat them in wrestling this year? Nebraska or did Iowa? No, Iowa. I think Iowa went over there and whooped them this year. I thought it was maybe 2 years ago. Nebraska won.
I'm not sure.
But Iowa's. I mean, they beat them in
football,
women's
basketball.
They beat them
convincingly.
Soundly in football.
Yes.
And women's basketball convincingly. No, Iowa's had Nebraska's number in a lot of sports.
Yeah, beat the women twice.
Yeah, beat the women twice. Beat them convincingly in football, and then won 2 out of 3. But still, great season for Nebraska basketball.
My God,
this is going to help him recruit now too.
It's been their best season ever.
I mean, they had never won an NCAA tournament game until it's been there's been a drought around here, but compared to Nebraska, Iowa basketball's got it pretty good, and now they're back in. They got momentum, and it's just like I said, Of all the teams that they could be playing right now, other than the fact that we know both teams know each other really well, is there a team that I'd much rather play these teams? And who would you rather play right now between like Illinois or Duke?
I'm torn because Duke doesn't know us at all.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know them at all. But then Illinois, who knows?
How about Illinois, Arizona? Now, granted, Illinois is a 1 seed. I mean, Illinois is only a 3 seed. I guess I should be making the comparison with the other 3s that are still left.
Also, how great is it that Bruce Pearl is going to be able to be on the desk there for Iowa versus Illinois?
I'm sure Illinois fans will love that. That is going to be interesting.
That is just
Because
that
that is
fascinates me.
I mean, there was 3 days there where Bruce made some. Now, Bruce has kind of set himself up, too, for criticism because he's become very public politically, and that's his right, whatever. But when you do that in this day and age, you're going to. But he's going to have an interesting take because of his relationship with both schools. I mean, that's
absolutely.
a long time ago, but Illinois fans still remember that. And that was from, 1988, 89?
Yes, and I think it was so neat last night when Bruce Pearl just talked about the last Elite Eight team for the Hawkeyes.
And you can say what you want about Bruce Pearl. The guy's a hell of a coach.
Oh.
I mean, the guy's,
without question.
I mean, he would have won big here. Fans would have loved him. And, I mean, it's easy to criticize these guys when they go in the studio. I mean, he did call her Caitlin Smith one time, and I almost started singing the national anthem. But, we all make mistakes. But it's going to be interesting to hear his perspective. You're right, though, about the Iowa-Illinois matchup because of who he is.
Yeah. So, and I do think he's real good. He's as
long as he gets the names right. Well, yeah, I think he's good at. He's great at expressing himself. And when you hear him, and we remember when we had him on the radio. I remember getting off the radio and I was saying, "God, Tom, gee, no wonder he can recruit."
Yes,
he's just got a gift for gab. He's had it all his life. Yep. Now, sometimes that may rub some people the wrong way, but what have you. But still, as far as a strategist and a recruiter and whatever, he's checked all the boxes, and it's going to be a really interesting. It's going to be. How will he handle the Illinois part? It's kind of a delicate situation.
It is, and
because Illinois fans are going to be waiting for him to say something that they can get pissed about.
And who knows how forthcoming he's going to be?
Well, he's not. He
can't.
He's not going to. It's not like he's going to bring out a tape recorder and say, "Hey, remember that?" No, he's going to. No, he can't. But no, he knows the rivalry as good as anybody, and Jess Settles knows the rivalry as good as anybody, and it just adds to the intrigue of playing in the Elite Eight.
And it's really okay. 3 Big Ten teams already in the Elite Eight, in the Elite Eight,
yeah,
and then there's 2 more to play.
Yep, Michigan still hasn't played,
and
Michigan State they play UConn. Who's going to be on the court more, Izzo or Danny Hurley?
Could go either way.
Yeah, that will be an interesting game. For some reason, I think UConn's going to win. I want Michigan State to win. Would you love to have as many teams in the Big Ten teams in the Final Four as you can? Is there still a chance to have 4?
Well, Michigan is paired with Duke and St. John's in that.
So yes.
So I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't that be wild?
And then Iowa State's still playing.
So I know they're different seeds, but who would you rather play right now between Illinois and Michigan?
Probably Illinois, I think.
I do too, but I thought that Iowa had a better chance of winning that game against Michigan than they did against Illinois. I thought they played better against or they brought Michigan maybe down. Michigan was lucky to win that game.
They were. What did they call Illinois last night? The Balkan Five? I thought that was just terrific.
Yeah, that is. And they're all good.
Well, they are.
And that 7-footer can shoot threes. And Brad's got them playing real well right now. He's a good coach.
Yes.
And Wagler, this is his last run. I mean, he is obviously going to go to the NBA. I think I've seen him 6th in the latest mock draft I saw. Is Jess not answering right now? Okay, he said around 9:30.
I'll keep trying.
Yeah, and I'll text him because he did say 9:30-ish is what he said when he got back to me.
I'll keep trying.
Well, he'll come on.
He'll come on. I mean, we got. Yeah. I mean, should we? Well, we don't need to take a break yet. But yeah, he texted recently saying it'd be somewhere around 9:30.
And back to women's basketball for a second. Iowa State's had 8 players in the portal so far, including
and Iowa just had Kenise Johnson, and that
right.
doesn't. I mean, she was.
And that doesn't.
That's no knock. No. She was never going to play here.
No,
she's had injuries, and my guess is she'll probably go to a smaller school, and she's just probably looking for a chance to play.
And fair enough.
She doesn't seem like has she ever been healthy since she's been here.
She really hasn't.
And Iowa's going to have to. Both the men and women are going to have to hit the portal. That's just life now. You have no choice. You have to hit the portal. And I'm guessing at some point, you haven't heard anything about Emily Rodriguez, have you?
No.
It's everyone who knows more about it than me who I ask, they say they don't think she's going to be back.
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't think any of us know for sure. It is interesting how she
has
been
stayed.
Odd the way she has stayed visibly connected to the team. She's at all the home games, and huddles and what have you, and yet she's just not playing, and we know she's not. I don't believe she's hurt anymore.
Well, if ever.
Yeah,
out there too.
They claim there was a back injury. It's just been a really weird situation, and I know Iowa's limited in what they can say.
Yep.
But that leaves us speculating.
Yeah, that's all we have is speculation because Jan ain't talking and Emily ain't talking.
Yes. And Jan's probably not talking because Emily probably doesn't want Jan to be talking. But I'd be surprised if she came back right now.
Oh, I would be shocked.
So that's another hole you have to fill. Then, of course, you've got to replace Kylie. You got to replace Taylor. You got to replace Hannah. And right now, they only have McKenna coming in, right?
That's right.
That's it. They got to add at least 3 or 4 more players. But I'd be surprised if those are mostly high school players. I think they're going to be mostly portal players.
I do, too. I think
they got to get a wing player who can shoot and score.
Well, yeah, we need some guards. We're a little short on the guard.
Well, they do, but they need a wing player who can just create her own shot and score from the outside. Rodriguez was that. Not a great outside shooter, but they need a player like Emily Rodriguez, to be honest with you.
She was able to get to the rim.
Able to get to the rim, and maybe she will end up being that player. But, I mean, she only played in 6 games this year. So
I did love her double spin move in the last game.
That was the last game she ever played in. So maybe that's when she hurt her back. Who knows? But because that's what I thought I remember reading from somebody, that it was a back issue or what have you. But, but no, Jan's going to have – they're going to have to get at least 2 or 3 players, I think, from the portal. And they will. I mean, they've got even though they lost early, they still got some good momentum after winning 27 games and what have you. They got to the Big Ten championship, right?
Yeah.
But of course, got beat by 51,
and got thrashed.
But still got there. I mean, there is something to be said for that. The 51-point loss does sort of kind of overshadow it.
It's just that's women's basketball, man. There's that huge difference between the real elite teams and then, the next group. As we've seen, just a huge difference. And should we take our break?
Yeah, I'm going to text him right now.
All right. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember one number. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist. 1-800-800-ROSE. Remember,
for a gift that your loved one will treasure for a lifetime, find it at our family-owned jewelry store in Iowa City, Harty and Stocker Jewelers.
We can show you diamond engagement rings, colored stones, fashion jewelry, and watches.
Our jewelers are on site, so we can design jewelry for that special person in your life.
We are Harty and Stocker, serving Iowa City and the surrounding area for 3 generations.
Harty and Stocker Jewelers, downtown Iowa City, and HartyandStockerJewelers.com. Ask for Willa, Terry, Tim, or Kate. One of us is always there.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
So, did you get your holiday lights down yet? What if your home could shine magically with just a tap? Introducing Illumilights from Big Dog Tech, the permanent smart LED lighting system that installs once and lights up your life year-round. No ladders, no hassle, just beautiful lighting that makes your home stand out day and night. Visit BigDogTech.net and schedule your free quote today. Illumilights, light up life.
Hi, I'm Jim Street, owner of Streets Maintenance. As a licensed, insured, and bonded master plumber, I specialize in all plumbing repairs, including but not limited to water heater and sump pumps to toilet and faucet repairs and replacements. As an Iowa City native, I know how frustrating it can be when any part of your plumbing system breaks down. That's why I only use trusted brands and quality materials. I offer same-day, next-day service coupled with a fair price. I also offer general services to mobile homes. For more information about my business, I'm online at streetsmaintenance.com and Facebook, or or give me a call at 400-4483, 400-4483.
Streets Maintenance. Honest plumbing at a fair price.
We bleed black and gold. We're Hawkeyes, the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
And we are back, and Jess Settles is on the line.
All right, well, Jess, good morning, and happy Hawkeye Day, buddy.
Yeah, it's better than Christmas, isn't it? Hello to you guys, to all your viewers. It feels like the curse has been broken, and what a great opportunity. I thought, the Florida game goes down in history as one of the great all-time wins. We had no business competing on the glass against that front line. They're the best front line in the country. You catch a break with a couple coaching errors late. McCollum takes advantage. And then you really get a gift playing Nebraska, not because Nebraska's not a good team and they've had a great year, but, we've already played them twice.
Yeah.
You're typically playing against a lottery pick of a team you've never played against, but you're already ready to go with the game plan. It just comes down to grit and guts and toughness. It was a tremendous game. The better team won.
Yep.
And now you get Illinois, who, Elite Eight games, as we've all watched over the years, they're toss-ups. Anything can happen. And it's so great to be a part of it, to see it, and I'm so glad for all of our kids and grandkids to be able to be a part of this, because it kind of feels like '87 all over again.
Well, Jess, it's great to have you on again, and I got to ask, this Illinois game, how do they compensate for the size factor? What can they do? Is it just going to be grit and execution? Because, obviously you can't coach size.
Yeah, it's really a tough one to dissect. This is a team with a ton of European influence. Mm-hmm. It's a big analytics team. They're going to slow tempo, even though they have really good athletes. They don't mind playing slow. Brad Underwood has pretty much reinvented himself. They're not going to run a lot of sets. They're just really a high IQ team with the great athletes who are going to hunt mismatches. They're that good. Hunting mismatches is really tough. And they're just going to process that information with every pass, and they're going to see, hey, can we get a big on Sturts? Can we take advantage of our size? Can we get a small on Manyow and get Wagner on him so that he can, take advantage of him with the quickness and the bounce? So they're really good at that. We obviously know that defense wins championships in March, right? You have to be able to defend to be able to stick around in these games in March. We have one of the elite defenses in the country. The physicality we're playing with is incredible. Fulgaris and Coop are both confident now with their shot. They're not just waiting till the last 2 seconds to throw it to Sturts and hope he bails them out. They're firing. They're playing with passion. It's going to be an incredible matchup. Manyow's going to have to really fight on the glass. I'm just so excited to see it. But I think the first game in Iowa City, they punked us in the first half. Then we got back in it, and I know the guys know what they got to do.
Jess, can you believe Wagler at one point was being recruited by McCollum more than anyone while McCollum was at Drake? There was actually a time where it looked like he may be going there before finally he got the – could you have imagined that had McCollum gotten him to Drake? I mean that. But doesn't that show you, though, Wagler was right there, and McCollum was the one who saw him before anybody. And then, of course, when the big boys got in there, it was tougher. But how important has Wagler's emergence been for this Illinois team? Because that was sort of an unknown factor coming in.
No question. I mean, he's definitely the biggest story in the Big Ten this year. And, I mean, there was a stretch in there. What'd he do? He hanged 40 at Purdue.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was the front runner for Player of the Year, I think, with 2 weeks to go in the season.
I agree.
Now, the actual for Michigan got him in the end, and mostly because they won, and to the victor go the spoils. But you're right, McCollum was on him early. This was a kid who was not on the circuit.
Yeah.
So nobody really knew he was out there. Nico Medved came along and was quietly, secretly trying to recruit him and keep him under the radar at Minnesota. So you can imagine how that would have worked. But with the NIL and the power of Illinois these days, right at the end they came in and snagged him, and I don't even think they were expecting him to play much, let alone have this type of season. Yet Bennett Sturts seems like a player of destiny, and he's putting together a legendary run. And we knew he had struggled. He always plays good, but he had struggled the last few weeks. We thought he had to be great. He was great last night. Now, does he come out and go for one of those 30-point, legendary performances? I think he will.
Okay. It may take something like that. And just what about Tate Sage last? I was trying to think of the last time a freshman did that for Iowa in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, who did anybody come to mind?
I can't think of anybody. I haven't seen if any of my colleagues have unearthed anybody. There's maybe somebody out there, but 19 and Jess, he scored in different ways, and he did it throughout the game. He was pretty consistent.
Yeah, it was crazy. So they not only did they come out firing, right, and hit a bunch of threes on us early, which was really surprising.
Yeah.
I thought our defense was just lousy, right? I thought that's the worst defense we played there for 10 minutes in 2 months. And they kept getting offensive rebounds on us.
Mm-hmm.
So not only were we giving them good looks, I think they had the first 8 rebounds of the game. If I remember correctly, Tate checks into the game and snags an incredible offensive rebound and kicks it out, maybe a hockey assist. We hit a 3. I thought that really changed the momentum of the game. And then his shot before halftime was worth huge. 10 points.
Yes.
Yes. And if the camera was on Fred walking off, and it was like, Fred felt like they should have been up 20 and
good point.
Sage hits that shot, steals the momentum. The kid wants to dunk on everybody. He's very unselfish, and our bench was the story. Those two, Fulgaris and Tate, that was really the story. Nebraska ran out of gas. They only went with 6 guys. Sam Hoiberg kind of ran out of gas at the end. And Pat, I mean, you guys, we've been watching Iowa basketball our whole lives. We're finally catching some breaks.
Yeah, you're right.
The Florida miscues, Nebraska miscue. We're catching some of those breaks that you just don't plan for.
Don't you think they're also catching some matchup breaks too? Or do you think Florida was a bad matchup because of their size? Because to me, Jess, I would rather have played Florida than
the other.
Arizona, Duke, or Michigan. That's just me. Would you, matchup-wise, do you think Florida was the best matchup, or do you not think that?
You got me thinking too hard here with that question. I'll tell you, Florida has the best front line in the country.
Okay.
I think the best thing that could have happened to us is that they won by 50 the game before.
Well, that's a good point.
And
you're right.
I don't think they took us seriously. I think Coach Golden is kind of in his headspace doesn't seem to be right. He just seems chippy this year. I think it was an arrogant performance by them. I don't think they expected our guys to play with that farm toughness that we play with.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they liked us getting up in them. And they made, full court pressing us at the end is one of the catastrophic mistakes I've ever seen in the tournament.
It really was.
Say after the game that their intention was to foul up 2. I've never heard of that in my life. To run a play at the end where they run that hammer set where the kid doesn't even get a shot off. It ended up, I thought it would be a horrible matchup. I thought on paper we were 15 points down.
Okay.
But those type of teams that like to run, they don't want to play in the 50s and 60s, and the things get tight at the end. So
right.
I'm rambling there, Pat. That's a terrible answer.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And like I said, all 4 of them were really good. The one thing with Florida this year, though, Jess, they won it last year, but Walter Clayton was the best player in the NCAA tournament last year. I know Florida's guards are good this year, but they didn't have Walter Clayton to close games like they did last year. I thought that was a big factor. And I wanted to ask you, Cooper Koch, the threes are great, and I've been harping on talking about this since it happened. His inbound pass, the fact that he hit Sturts in stride, to me, Jess, that made that whole thing happen because the timing was perfect. Sturts was going full bore as he was going down court. How important was that?
Well, it's just so important. I mean, everybody can go back and watch it, here in the next few weeks just for fun.
Sure.
So, just straight fundamentals. Bennett Sturts takes the jab step to take the guy who's face guarding him away, and then he attacks on the curl. Coop does the same thing. Pass fake, right? Get the defender to shift a little bit, then sprint to the right, throw the perfect Chuck Long to Billy Apple, right? Across on the sideline, and then, man, did Bennett put the Jets on? How many times you see a point guard on TV, launch a terrible shot, try to play hero ball, want all the glory, he just drops the Tom Davis bounce pass to the corner. Fulgaris, these step-back threes are just insane. I didn't grow up with them. I would have just pulled up and taken the shot. He pulls the Caitlin Clark step back, make sure he's behind the line, goes down in history like Kevin Gamble, and then you get, the ultimate gift. You get Nebraska the next game, and now we're in the Elite Eight.
Well, here's a question for you. I know it's been a while, Final Four, and they're not there yet, but do you think it's a coincidence that the last time they went to the Final Four, they had a great standout senior point guard? I know he was injured, but he was still there, and now here they are, one step from the Final Four with another great standout point guard. Different style of play, but Jess, you know how important point guard play is in the NCAA tournament, and we're seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine in the last 20 years there's been a team make the Final Four without a really good point guard.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't happen. You have to have that this kid is playing 40 minutes, that he had to guard Price Sanford for much of the game.
You're right.
The stamina. I think one of the Nebraska games, somebody said he covered 9 miles in the game.
Yeah.
He's a very unique kid, as you know. I've gotten to know him well. Very humble,
laid back,
tremendous teammate and student. Look, let's be real, and this is a compliment to the guys. He's playing with a lot of mid-major guys who nobody wanted. They are at a mismatch on most nights against Power 4 teams. They're smaller. They're not as quick. Who do we have on the team who can win a one-on-one battle off the bounce? Not many. And yet he continues to play the right way over and over and over again, and just trust the process.
Yeah.
And they're in a position to be in a position now.
No, that's a good point. He does, and I've said to these guys when I talk to him, Jess, sometimes he reminds me so much of Matt Gatens. Just the way he sounds, the way he conducts himself. I know Matt. It's just kind of eerie the way every time I think of Matt Gatens, because they're so similar. And I know they're different types of players, but that's just me. But I wanted to ask you now. We're in this crazy age. I already saw, I think it was Pete Thamel talking about North Carolina job. McCollum's name comes up. I mean, the only downside to this kind of wild success is other people take notice. You, as a former Hawkeye, how confident are you that things will stay the way they are, even though Ben's name is being mentioned? Tate Sage, I'm sure Coach is like, who the hell is this Sage? What's it going to take to keep everything status quo? Because you got to ask that in this day and age.
Yeah, and I don't think either one of us want to be misquoted because tone and thought process is part of it. Every single person involved in these things are on 9-month contracts now.
They are.
It just doesn't. Whatever you think you know, you don't know. So this is what drives everybody crazy. This is why we don't like it. It's how surreal to see Price Sanford shooting against Cooper Koch and watching his parents cheer against Iowa in the game.
That was bizarre.
It just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
It's like all these broken relationships. You're in the weight room in the fall. These guys leave now, and there's not even any spring workouts anymore because your kids are finishing college classes on campus at these places, and yet they're locked out of the same arena they just performed with their guys. It's such a mess. It's such a dereliction of duty by whoever the NCAA is, and we don't even know who. You can't even put a face with the name of who's making these decisions. And so, no, nothing surprises you. Will Wade just went back to LSU.
Who fired him?
We'll just have to see how it all plays out. But no, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised about anything. I think I could probably get an attorney and play in this game with some sort of injunction on Saturday night.
Well, and that's well said. And see, my problem is I just think there's sort of a double. Yes, do I think the portal and stuff is out of control? I do. But I've got a problem with these people, with the adults who say, the kids are running the asylum. They have way too. Well, coaches have as much or more freedom than the kids do. So to me, it's hard for the adults to tell the kids, some of this legislation saying, 5 years. I get all that stuff, but in no way am I knocking Ben McCollum. I hope I don't say this wrong. Ben's on his 3rd job in a little over 2 years. More power to him. That's the way the business works. You get that right, Jess? Ben has the right to better himself, better his family, what have you. The problem is there's some people who don't feel student athletes have that right, but just the toothpaste is already out of the bottle. How do we make this work and make it to where student athletes and coaches have the same type of flexibility, and yet there's still a little bit of control on both ends, so maybe there is a little bit more loyalty and less of this poaching and pandering and all this stuff?
Yeah, look, we could have a 2-hour show on it.
I know.
And everybody could call in and the bottom line is that the NCAA is losing 100% of the court cases.
Oh, without
okay,
yes, yes.
They're just getting hammered every time. So you're never going to turn back the clock on the NIL. They don't, the agents and the players is that they don't want collective bargaining because right now they can just basically name their price. They can jump around and do whatever they want. I just can't believe that the institution can't say, hey, you can't transfer at the semester. I cannot believe they allowed the transfer portal to get this completely out of hand. I don't understand that part of it. So you would hope that they would get that cleaned up. Now, as a fan, if you fall on the right side of it, you can go to the Elite Eight in 1 year. If you fall on the wrong side of it, you can lose your entire team and not win a game, and everybody says you can't coach anymore.
That's a good point, what you said, too, about transferring, because, there's a lot that goes into transferring away from the court, credits and all that stuff. I'm with you on that, Jess. It seems like it should be a little more difficult besides just the NIL and portal stuff it's amazing how all these credits seem to transfer from one school to another because, you have to have a certain amount of hours and you have to be taken to be eligible. I know that's still the rules, but seems like it's easy to transfer even beyond just how easy the portal makes it.
Well, there must not be any such a thing as academic ineligibility anymore. When's the last time you saw a player? In the 90s. It seemed like every team at the semester had a couple guys who were on the verge of not being how can you transfer 6 different times and still have class credits?
That's what I wonder about. That's what I wonder about.
It's just I've got no answers for you, Pat. We're just so lucky Kirk's been able to retain all these guys and we're still in it, and a lot of these schools can't keep their guys. I don't know how exactly we're doing it, but let's talk about something else.
Okay, no, you're right. No, it does get frustrating. Let's talk about. I want to talk about Dr. Tom and Ben. We keep bringing up Dr. Tom's name because Ben keeps doing Dr. Tom type things. First coach since Dr. Tom to make the tournament. First one to make the Sweet 16 in their first year. First one to get the LA. He's got so many parallels to Tom Davis, even though their styles were completely different playing-wise. Just shows you, Jess, you can coach in all different ways, and if you get kids to rally, you can have a lot of success.
Yeah, it's just amazing when your guys play harder than the other team, which our teams used to, and when you have a defensive philosophy. Now, Dr. Tom's was totally different. We're going to press the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be bigger swings, but McCollum has just built everything at that end, and defense gives you a chance to win in March.
Yeah.
When you're back-to-back-to-back games in the big tournament, and then you have these quick turnarounds. You get in at 3 a.m. from Florida, and you got to fly the next day and get down to Houston, and you're tired. The defensive principles that he's come up with over the years give you a chance. Now, I was at the shoot-around a month ago against Michigan, and Michigan's just absolutely loaded, and we almost beat them.
Yep.
How we were even in that game, I don't know, because they've got huge athletic pros on their team, and yet our guys found a way to make that game close just like they've done the last couple. And McCollum during the shoot-around was really on the guys, not in a sarcastic way, but just reminding them of the point of attack. There was a 10-minute talk on the point of attack and how they'd gotten away from getting up in the ball and being tougher and more physical. And you'll get a kick out of this. He even referenced the Pistons of the 90s and how they were so physical and they were so relentless that even the officials had to start swallowing the whistle because on every play they were the chippier team. And he even told the guys at that day that, because I don't care if you get in foul trouble. I don't care. We'll bring somebody else back in you. We cannot be – he actually said to Combs, I think, he said, who in your circle of influence has gotten in your head to tell you that you're going to be playing on your heels instead of being up in attack? So I thought the mentality changed. They got back to playing chippy, and they've been in some foul trouble. But against Florida, against Nebraska, it's just unleashed this freedom. Cooper's talking trash. Well, Harris has found his confidence.
You're right.
They're not just standing around waiting for Bennett to bail them out.
Hey, I'll just take a few more minutes of your time. I know you're very busy. Our listeners love hearing from you. If you're Brad Underwood, what's your strategy going into the game?
Well, if I remember right, the Boswell kid played really well against Bennett. So I think they're going to be studying a lot of tape with him. He's really old. He's really tough
and big, thick,
and big. So I was going to have to find a way to free Bennett up from him. I think if you're Brad Underwood, short turnaround, not going to change much either team. I think they're very confident that they can use their size and post up our guards. So I think that'll be a lot of it. But they're not a big set team. They're
not.
more of a read and react instinctive team, and it's going to be a classic. I do hope it's low scoring.
Me too.
And I think if we hang around, we'll have an opportunity to make plays down the stretch.
All right, one last one. I'm going to put you on the spot. This team versus the 1987 Elite Eight team, obviously each in their prime. Who wins?
Well, I had breakfast with Bobby Knight in 2000 at the Denny's in Bloomington at about 7 in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there talking. Now, you can imagine how legendary this is, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm sitting there. I'm nervous and just letting him tell me stories. And we're talking baseball because he loved baseball. And we're talking, World War II because he's a historian. And we're talking about the history. And out of the blue, he pulls up the 87 team. And he tells me the 87 Iowa team. He says, Jess, that 87 Iowa team was probably the most talented team that I ever coached against in the Big Ten. Wow. And I said, what? And so he starts going through the lineup. I think, Pat, we have 11 guys playing the NBA off of that team?
I believe it. Yeah, they had played at least one game. I believe that was it. Yeah, something like that. It was incredible.
Just, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys. So, look, let's I don't want to live in the past, but I don't think any of us who ever played at Iowa, any team is ever touching that team in a 7-game series.
I do agree with you, but it would be fascinating to watch Ben McCollum and Tom Davis matching wits because they're so good at what they do and so different. But no, it would be interesting. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. And Jess, again, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Hope everything. Well, I know everything's going well. I love listening to your analyst stuff. I mean, you're doing a great job doing that, and Hawkeye fans love you, and we really appreciate you giving us some time.
And go Hawks.
And go Hawks, Jess.
Go Hawks. I'm heading to Indy if we can pull this thing off. So maybe
I'll be there too. Hopefully I'll see you there, Jess.
Brother.
Talk to you.
Take care.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Great Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And he got worked up. There's problems in the sport, and I do
big time problems.
But it's both. You're just not going to be able to. I mean, like Tommy Tuberville wants this 5 years. You got to sit out a year if you transfer more than one. They want to limit the flexibility of the student athlete again, and I don't think you can now. I agree with Jess. I think it's not going to go back. The other problem is when you have someone like Will Wade doing what he did, the student athletes are going to be like, well, listen, coaches can just do whatever they want. Buyouts don't matter, nothing, and yet you're going to tell us we can only transfer once during our 5 years? I just don't know how that can work now. Well, even though I do see that they're trying to.
They have to do something.
But what do they do to the coaches? They can just keep just doing whatever they want? I mean, Will Wade basically told the NC State people he wasn't going anywhere when he knew he was going. So there was obviously contact. I mean, it's just – I just don't see. So you're saying they have to do something to the student athletes, but what the adults are doing is fine.
I didn't say that exactly. What the system is broken.
Yes, but for the student athletes and the coaches,
for both.
Yes, they're all making way too much money. Contracts mean nothing. And I'm not don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Ben McCollum for taking 3 jobs in over 2 years. He's moving up just like a businessman. Don't give me. What I'm doing is. Don't hinder the student athletes from having the same flexibility. That's all I'm saying. Ben McCollum had earned his right to move on. In all 3 cases, he needed a bigger challenge. He was ready for something bigger and better. I get that. It's just going to be hard when you have so many other cases of coaches. I mean, the Will Wade thing just looks so sleazy the way it's unfolded. That's going to make it hard to tell these student athletes, no, these same guys who were doing this sleazy stuff are telling you can only transfer once. That's what I'm saying.
I read an article, I think it was in Sports Illustrated, where they are in a rush now to come up with some kind of guidelines because they're afraid if Trump and Congress gets involved, nobody's going to be happy.
Well, yeah, that's just we don't need that stuff.
No, we don't.
But they, The NCAA, and I agree with Jess, the NCAA is to blame. They just did nothing. They let this get to this point. But I just get tired of the adults saying, oh, it's all the kids' fault, when there's so much sleaze being done by the adults. It's not just the kids. I just think there's Tommy Tuberville obviously doesn't, he wants to get more authority over the kids. And he's an old coach, he's an old ball coach. And I just don't think that's going to work. I just think I keep going with the toothpaste.
Government needs to keep out of it.
Oh, yeah, they need to keep out. Yeah. But what's another analogy besides the toothpaste out of the bottle? The horses have left
toothpaste is in a tube.
In a tube. The horses have left the barn. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The genie's out of the bottle.
Genie's out of the bottle. Toothpaste is out of the tube. Yeah. There you go.
Shaking in every pot.
You can't put it back in. Have you ever tried to put toothpaste back in the tube?
No. I'm fortunate enough I can afford another tube.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Radio is
take this call and then we'll take another break.
Wow, we're doing double breaks.
Well, we didn't get through the other break.
Oh, that's right, we didn't.
Hello.
Hey, quick question, guys. How do you think this will impact swarm revenue?
Oh, I think it'll help.
Impact?
It has to help.
It's got to help. I'm not saying it's going to triple or but it has to have some type of impact because Iowa's going to be smart and take advantage of it. They're going to be reaching out to people now that they have momentum and there's a lot going on. And, hey, we could use your help and we can have more of this. So, yeah, I think it'll definitely help.
Is that guy still involved in the swarm? The one guy you have on?
Brad, yeah, we'll get him on here. We'll get him on after. Well, Tom, whatever, get him on. He's your connection.
Yeah,
he and what's her name? Evashevsky. What's her first name? Marion. Those are your two connections. Yeah, but yeah, we'll get him on. But yeah, I think it'll definitely have an impact. It's gonna make everything better. The NCAA tournament cures all ills, doesn't it, Captain?
Yes, even this show.
It's made us actually. We actually seem to be sort of functioning today.
Good luck.
Well, there's still.
There's
still.
All right, we'll be right back.
There's still a half an hour left, and Jess Settles ain't walking back in that door.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Sunshine, just a few clouds into the afternoon. Otherwise, a breezy northwest wind to 30 and highs in the upper 40s. Tonight, those winds will back down. We'll see clear skies, lows in the lower 20s. On Saturday, sunshine, mid-50s in the afternoon. Look for south winds to pick up. They'll be gusty during the afternoon. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 37.
KCJJ weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
Dear U of I, just a note to let you know if you're ever thinking about selling Kinnick Stadium or Carver Hawkeye Arena, please consider Hawkeye Title and Settlement. We're here to provide efficient, high-quality real estate title and closing services. Signed, Hawkeye Fan Forever, and send. Hi, this is Steve Anderson with Hawkeye Title and Settlement. Whether it's a large commercial property or if you're buying your first home, remember we're here to help. Hawkeye Title and Settlement Services of Iowa City. You'll love our team just like you love the Hawks.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential, develop a strong work ethic and a solid solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier for years. And it works. Deer divots and dings do damage, but Premier Auto will do right by you. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Do yourself a favor. When your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier. The deer don't like Premier, but you will. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Hit a deer? Call Premier. When you go to a family restaurant, you want three things. One, a wide selection of breakfast, lunch, and dinner items. Two, you want those selections to be affordable and delicious. And three, you want to be treated like family. You get all three at the Midtown Family Restaurant. Breakfast items available anytime the doors are open. Legendary tenderloins, onion rings, and hot roast beef sandwiches. Daily specials at each location. And no matter if you're coming in solo or with a group of 20, you get the same special family treatment. The Midtown Family Restaurants at Court and Scott Streets and at the Walmart Plaza on Highway 1 West. Follow them on Facebook or at MidtownFamily.com. The family's waiting for you. GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit Supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246.
Hi, this is Tiffany at Senior Benefits. Are you confused with Medicare questions, anything having to do with Medicare? I take care of all Medicare customers, people under 65. I also do life insurance, long-term care, cancer insurance. I'm here to help you navigate any questions that you may be having or frustrations and anxiety that you may have with Medicare or insurance in general. Give me, Tiffany Rao, a call at 319-631-4795.
When someone is kind enough to share their time with us, we better make it worth their while.
They don't want to do people call it the game, right?
Patrick Eads and Terry Adams of Deary Brothers Ford talk about what here for you means to them.
You don't have to spend a half a day in our dealership to get that good competitive price. We just want to try to deliver that to you up front.
And that makes me feel good, makes me proud.
Because that's what people want. They want a fair, honest deal.
As far as a statement here for you, we want to not just say it, but live it.
Find out what it means to you at Deary Ford in Iowa City.
You hungry? The Oxyokin Sunday Brunch Buffet offers so many choices of fresh entrees, homemade salads, waffles, omelets made to order, pastries, 3 tiers of desserts, and much more. Such a great value. You can always eat out, but not every place serves an experience. Serve 9 until 2. See you this Sunday. You'll always leave happy at the Oxyokin in the heart of Amana.
The Oxyokin.
And we're back. Hunter brought me the corn nuts.
Who did?
Hunter. Knowing that I
those
can't.
Things, they smell so bad.
Ah,
they're so bad. You like them, Suter?
I do.
Oh God,
I don't eat them.
They're
but I like them.
Those little Halloween things, those little brown and orange little triangle things. What are those? Those are the other things that are really bad, but not as bad as corn nuts.
Oh God,
corn nuts are the worst thing ever.
I love corn nuts. I can't leave them alone.
Corn nuts are worse than top 40 music. I'll go that far. I will go that far, Captain.
See, I think they smell good.
Oh,
yeah, they smell.
They're good. They are good.
They're crunchy.
Lance is hearing that, and yes, just keep biting down there, Senor. Bite down harder.
The cash register sound is ringing in Lance's ears.
Thanks again for Jess Settles coming on. I always love talking to Jess, and you could sense the excitement and almost a little bit of relief in his voice as a former Hawkeye. We finally got this cursed thing. We finally did something so positive to where now we can kind of look positive at things, men's basketball, and it's just so bizarre that it's this team that did it. When you think about those teams with Luka and Wieskamp and
and Keegan and them.
Keegan and them, and they were good teams.
Best three-point shooter in Iowa history.
I mean, the one team won the Big Ten tournament, and yet it's this team, the team that lost at Penn State, the team that lost at Maryland, the team that lost at Minnesota. It's this team that is now 24-12 in the Elite Eight, and this is part of the fun with this is like today. You know, they have no risk of losing today, and they're in it. It's March Madness. Media's going to be fawning all over them. They're going to be doing it. This is part of the fun. When you survive, you get this extra time in the spotlight. Now, it could all end tomorrow, but hey, I said the game yesterday was gravy. What's beyond gravy?
Potatoes and gravy.
So now it's just potatoes and gravy. I mean, the rest.
Well, they've got to put sausage in the gravy.
Okay. That sounds actually kind of good. That stuff always tastes better, but doesn't always stay better. Biscuits and gravy. Sometimes
love biscuits and gravy. I don't order them very often.
But you have to admit they're rich, and they can sometimes do battle.
The only gravy I like is the white gravy at Midtown. Otherwise,
I never had my mom's beef gravy. Oh, man, it was lights out. She put little beef strips in it.
Oh, but it was like Billy's. Lots of butter.
Yeah, flour. I just remember she'd have it in her hair and the old apron on tied, and it'd take her like all day. And the very last thing she would do was she'd pour in these last things, and you'd have to do it really quick because if everything didn't go down to the very minute, it wasn't as good. And her gravy was just, I could drink it. It was so good.
Good gravy is unbelievable.
You pour it on me. It was just, and see, never made gravy myself.
Never cared for gravy.
Oh God, I love gravy. I don't eat much of it. I mean,
potatoes and the white gravy from Midtown is.
Oh, I'm sure it's good. Hell, I even like KFC gravy. I mean,
yeah.
And Popeyes is good, but it's different. Now, when's the one opening up? I just drove by it the other day.
In 2031.
Midtown's gravy's good.
Did you get his joke? So is it just at a standstill? Because actually, when I was over at my insurance agent, which is right by there, I asked one of the workers there. They said they haven't seen any action there for months.
Because I don't get it, but the guy
does it have anything to do with the ones out there in Coralville?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all connected.
And Dubuque, and
he's not.
This guy
in
brought
compliance
the
with
buildings.
The franchise.
He brought the buildings. The way I understand it, he bought the buildings. He bought the food. He bought everything, but the franchise.
Yeah, because you guys did stories on that.
Yeah. And now they say, they're letting him find a franchisee and sell it.
So it's not going to be a Popeyes?
No, it's going to be a Popeyes, but
he's got to be able to find somebody who's willing to pay for the franchise fee and all that other. Okay. Because my guess is the Popeyes will do good there, don't you think?
Oh, I think it'll do great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll go there.
I'll go there. I mean, I don't go to the other one because it's just so far away.
It's too far.
Yeah, and when I'm out there, I'm usually there to get something else, and it's usually just so crowded.
Well, that's got problems too. I mean,
I know it does.
The whole thing's got. I've never heard of it. When my folks ran Lums, bought the franchise for Lums. I mean, you had to have so much money in the bank to guarantee.
Sure, I see it.
Yeah, and you had to sign, and you had to be a franchisee. I
think I remember hearing how hard it was to do a franchise for Long John Silver's. You had to show them a certain amount, you had to have at least $1 million in disposable income. Yeah, just to even be considered.
$1.25 million.
In a way, can't you see why they do that though? I mean, especially if you're in a position where you can do that. Okay, well, back to the Hawks. So Kenice Johnson, Emily Rodriguez, who,
I have to. I mean, Tegan has a decision to make. Does she see herself, or does Jan see herself? See Tegan as somebody
because there's minutes available in her role. There definitely is minutes.
But is Tegan going to get?
Yeah, that's just the question. And do they recruit over her in the transfer portal?
And that is the question. And
Jan's going to be active in the transfer portal. She's going to have to be. It's going to be interesting to see, too, what they do with Layla Hayes, because I didn't see enough of Layla that convinced me that she and Ava can play together. I don't think, obviously, it would be on Ava to be the small forward, but I'm not sure Ava's...
I don't think those two are compatible together.
As good as Ava is, I don't think she's got at power forward skills. I mean, she's getting better with the elbow jumpers and whatever, but to me, it would be too much of the same thing. I think Layla's just got to get better, because I still say if Layla became more reliable, I could see her going 27-13. Or I think they wanted to play her more at times this year, but she just
didn't deliver.
She just didn't develop like I thought she might. But it's only been 1 year. There's still a lot of time left, assuming she stays.
Hello.
Yeah, I think KCJJ should start and advertise a GoFundMe page to get Mother Volcaris over here for the whole season next year.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Why don't you do it?
Why don't you start with the first donation, and we'll go from there.
I can do the first donation, but anyway.
Okay.
I'm with you.
All right.
The way he's playing, it'd be neat to have.
Oh, no, it would be. It's a cool story.
He's played so well
He
the
really
last
has.
couple games. What a
he really
difference.
has. And he's got personality. He brings a lot of flair.
He doesn't, but what a difference it has made to this team.
Yeah, every time he shoots now, I think it's going in.
Uh-huh. And so does he.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he always
thank
thinks
you,
it's
guys.
going in.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
He always thinks it's going in, even when he's not shooting well. That's part of the beauty of him. He's very confident. Sturts is the same way. They asked him the other day, hey, you missed your last 9-3. I just got to keep shooting. I don't think it phases him. He's got a short memory. He'll take that shot if he has to. But no, the Fulgaris story is really cool. And again, once this season's over, the first thing Ben does is you exhale, but then you solidify your roster for next year.
Yep.
And the first thing with that is you make sure all the guys coming back are happy, and I don't see any reason why they're not be. I think Iowa's NIL now is competitive. I think I read something where they had it somewhere between 6.5 and 7 million had Iowa's.
And that was before this run.
And that was before this run, but that's also, remember, Fran had to deal with some 1.5s.
Yes.
Fran did not get much help in NIL-wise. I will say that in his defense. Things have changed for the better in that regard. But no, Ben's going to he's going to have to be active. Both coaches will be, and they will be. That's just part of it now. Transfer portal there's a transfer portal season. It never ends, but it really picks up right now here in the next.
As soon as the team loses, it starts.
Oh, I've already started. Those same, the Tipton edits and all those recruiting. Yeah. Now they do as many portal things. Remember, it used to be just recruiting stuff, high school kids.
Yes.
Now it's portal. Hey, so and so has entered the portal. Blah blah blah. It's just nonstop, just one after another.
Hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
Hey.
Hey, I can tell you firsthand that these wins are helping the NIL, because last night after the game, I flipped Beth Getz $3 and said, "Keep McCollum there, will you?"
Okay.
I got the same response. All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Go Hawks.
Thanks for the contribution.
How much is the game? Was it $3?
$3.
What does that get you now?
$3.
Does that get you a point guard from a high Division I school?
That'll get Ben a big-ass Snickers bar.
A Snickers bar. We'll get him a Snickers bar.
Well, great big ones.
Get this bag of corn nuts.
How much is that? How much? That's probably what about $1.80?
Yeah, I would think.
That guy liked his joke, didn't he?
Hey, Hunter. Yeah. How much were the corn nuts?
$2.20. You're right. That guy made himself laugh. That was kind of funny, but yeah, it's going to have a huge impact. This is, they've waited 27 years for something. Well, actually, they've waited 39 years for
39?
something like this. I still had hope back the last time they were in the Elite Eight.
Well, the last time they were in the Elite Eight,
I was still working it.
Ann and I were driving. Ann and I were driving from Kalispell to Missoula, Montana.
Jesus.
And we listened to the game on the way down, and then at halftime we got to the new motel in Missoula and watched the second half, and it did not end well for Iowa.
But you didn't let that impact your stay in the hotel, though, did you?
No. We still had a job to do.
Oh, so is this band?
Yes.
Band on the Run? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Band on the Run.
Band on the Run. 80s. On the road, Suter.
Yeah. Remember,
you guys didn't know each other back then at all, did you? Or did you ever cross paths before you became this giant conglomerate?
Yeah, it was odd because personally we didn't, but we broadcast his band when he played in Iowa City.
And little did you know that someday you guys would become this giant conglomerate.
And we played, in fact, I was going through stuff the other day, and I still got one of your CDs in the packet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because you or someone sent us like a bunch to give away, and we evidently gave them away because I only had one left.
Cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool beans.
Yes, our paths crossed, but we didn't know it. We
Sounds
didn't know
like
at the time.
Sounds like a Seals and Crofts song, and he just died yesterday.
He did. Dash Crofts.
Dash Crofts. He was 87, and it was part of the breaking. It was David Muir played it up big. I didn't realize he was that pop. That was a big part of the newscast on the national news. Was the death of what was it? Ash Croft. Dash Croft. Okay. Yeah. I was surprised that it got that much play.
And I thought I saw that Seals and Crofts was going to be playing in Cedar Rapids with another band.
Well, they can't be.
Now it's just
exactly.
Seals is dead.
Died in 2000.
So who's left?
22.
Well, nobody. If Seals died, neither of them are.
So how are they going to play?
I think you Sid and Marty Croft, who did the banana splits.
But I think I remember you bad-mouthing Seals and Crofts on here. It was called it pussy music.
Yeah,
you didn't
pussy
like
music.
You didn't say you hated them. You just didn't like them.
I don't hate them.
No, hate's a strong
Why do you
word.
always
I hate
think
I like it when I say to you, when you're like, I don't hate him. I just don't like him. You draw the line at hate, and I respect you for that.
It's pussy music.
Did you like Seals and Crofts? I don't imagine you did. Summer Breeze? That's not a bad song.
Summer Breeze I rather liked.
That was a good song.
Hummingbird I thought was goofy.
What's another popular song they had?
Hummingbird.
I'd have to hear it. It doesn't for some reason.
Hummingbird, don't fly away, dun,
Oh,
hey.
Oh, God. There they go. They're already calling the home command central. Shut them down. I don't care if they had settles on. Shut them down.
What?
Diamond Girl. That was the other one I was thinking of. That's not a bad song. Oh, Jesus. They all can't be Mindy Perry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they should be.
Okay. All right, back to the Hawks. This is going to be interesting, though, to see what baseball and softball do this weekend. This is okay. I'll put you on the spot. Does baseball win one of the three?
Yes,
I think they win,
but only one of the three.
One of the three. Okay, that would. I mean, it's unfortunate that they split. That they're 3-3. They should. To me, they needed to win these first two.
Yeah, they didn't.
Neither one of those teams are expected to be very good. So
they did.
But UCLA. They're coming into a strange place they're not familiar with at all. It is going to be in the high 40s. They are number one. There's always pressure that comes with that, so we'll see.
Well, it's just, yeah. And
do we know for sure the game starts today at 4? We need to get that figured. Let me, before we get off.
Well, that's what Karn said. That my sheet says 6, but I don't know that the sheet is right. For sure.
I'm going to look up UI Baseball.
Yeah, just HawkeyeSports.com will have it.
Because, of course, 4 will be parking issues.
Yeah.
Here it is right in front of me. 4:02 p.m.
4:02.
Maybe that extra 2 minutes will help you park.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to deal with it.
Well, it is just so neat to still be in the discussion. Hawkeye's still playing. I can't even imagine if we find a way to beat Illinois, what that's going to feel like. It's been so long.
Well, it's going to feel like more of the same, just more of it. And it's not beyond the realm of power. I mean, as wild as these things sound, because it's been so they could do it.
Of course they could.
Yeah, but now there's been some years where there's just teams you knew that just weren't going to lose. I think Iowa almost beat Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, they did. So when they're good, they're good. When they've been bad, they've been bad, but they haven't been bad lately. So nothing would surprise me. Do I think I'd probably give Illinois a 65-35. Illinois is a better team, but 35%, that's basically saying you got a decent chance of winning this game. That's kind of where I'm at.
I would be surprised if we got boat raced.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get run off the court. I just think they're playing too well for that. I don't think Sturts would allow that to happen. I think he would control tempo enough to keep the game within within single digits. I think that's the challenge, to not let Illinois get off on a big run. And so we'll see. But like I said, enjoy today, too, because this is all part of it. Your team is still in the big dance.
That's right.
And
we haven't been there in a long time.
Haven't been this far since 1987. Again, I had hope back then. It's been that long, Captain. 39 years. I was hanging out on Court Avenue back in 1987. That wasn't necessarily a good thing.
What was I doing?
87, you're probably doing
KFMH.
Sitting on your ass talking.
Same freaking thing.
Sitting on your ass talking.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
And you've loved every minute of it.
Oh, yeah, just...
Hasn't today been fun?
Yes. Listen, Jess settles. Well, I was so surprised. The one time when my Big Ten Plus worked, he was calling it.
And he's really, I know we're biased.
He's good.
I think he does I wish he did
really
more.
does a good.
I wish he did more of the games that I'm interested in. Lots of times he'll do games like on Fox or whatever, and it's just not, and I'll listen to it just because it's Jess, and I couldn't care less about the teams playing, but he does a really good job. I know Robbie Hummel's really good at it too, but I've always liked Jess. He brings energy, and he's very knowledgeable. You could tell that just from listening to him today.
No.
And in his day, before his back gave out, he was a really good player. A really good, versatile 6'7" small forward. So again, thanks Jess for coming on, everybody. Enjoy this nice weather. Have a good weekend, and well, we'll be back in here. Big, huge Suter Ranch show tomorrow, right, Tom?
Huge.
I mean, you're working on it right now, right?
Huge show tomorrow.
Huge show.
I will.
Wapsie will be in here.
I will be here for it.
There will be other games to talk about. I imagine I'll tune in to some of the Michigan-Alabama game tonight.
And Wapsie will be in here tomorrow, right? She'll be making an appearance.
Yes. UConn, Michigan State. Might want to watch.
I want to watch that one. Captain, it's Saturdays with Wapsie. We got 3 Frosty Paws back there, unless you decide to eat one.
So
I thought about it.
So no reaction from Pat
on
with the 8 Iowa State women basketball players in the portal. Doesn't surprise you, or
well, I guess that many it does. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't want this to come off wrong, but I really don't care what goes on over there. But
I hear you.
It makes me wonder. That's a lot, and with him being there for so long, I mean that's interesting because they ended up having a better year than I thought. They were unraveling at one point, and they ended up making the tournament and winning over 20 games. But
they've experienced everything
now,
this year.
To me, though, I wonder with those 8, how many does Iowa State want to be gone, and how many they don't want to be? You never know.
Well, certainly Addie Brown, they didn't want to lose her.
Yeah, see, I didn't know she was one of them.
Yeah,
I didn't know she was one of them. So yeah, this makes me wonder if maybe he's been doing it a long time. Maybe he is. Maybe he's nearing the end, and maybe they know that. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously earned the right to decide his own.
Yep.
He's been really good there for a long time. So,
yes,
but no,
he has.
8 is enough. Wouldn't you agree, Captain? Did you guys watch that show?
No.
Suter, you did. You were. There's a plate
I saw it a time or two.
There's a plate of homemade wishes on the kitchen window seal.
Saw it a time or two.
Dick
and he was
Van
great.
Patten. You said he was really nice.
Yeah. He was great.
He was,
What about Willie Ames?
I never had, no.
And didn't the young kid, Adam...
Why'd you have to bring up Ames, Pat?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Wasn't the young kid kind of a rebel? Didn't he kind of grow...
Rich.
Adam
Rich.
Yeah. He was a rebel, wasn't he? Wasn't he a partier?
I think he's screwed up.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize it went that far.
So you got some police reports for us?
I hope.
He's going to look up Adam Rich right now. I can tell you.
Let me look up Adam Rich.
We've got to do it before we shut down the show because all the listeners are waiting. Hopefully he's still alive.
First comes up. Adam Rich. He was, let's see. Oh, he's dead.
Ugh.
Man, I'm sorry, everyone. I brought us down.
Accidental fentanyl overdose.
Oh.
Ooh.
Jesus. Well, we got to figure out a better way to end this show. Okay, back to the Hawks.
Go Hawks!
All right, everybody. Have a good Friday.
All right. Police reports are next with Captain Steve and Tommy Lang. Hawkfanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you